Okay, Kushni, you can go ahead and start.
Hi everybody.
Hi, Kushni. Thanks for joining us today. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Are you hearing me?
I can hear you, but your volume is very low. Can you speak up a little? Get closer to the mic and
Okay.
please speak up a little.
So this picture, I think medical, like a medical, and there is uh, people and and there are lots of I think medicines and computer. Um, they are learning something like experience uh, uh, and some papers and tissue, and they wear same t-shirt. mm, and sorry.
Okay, no
thank,
problem.
Thank you for listening.
No problem. Thank you for your input, Kushni. Somebody just joined. Can you please mute your mic, Mohammed?
Hi, Suresh.
Hi, Mohammed.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. So hold on, we'll get to you. Thanks for joining today. So Cindy, do you have any feedback for Kushni?
I had a real hard time hearing her, and I'm sorry, Kushni. I was really listening. I did hear some good vocabulary words, um, but other than that, she didn't really have complete sentences, so I don't have anything to add. I will mention one of the words on the pronunciation, and I had trouble hearing her, so I'm not sure if she said it correctly or not, but I want to think that there was a hard C sound when it should be a soft C, so it was pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical. We would also say pharmacy would be a place. Um, so yeah, that C is a soft C. That's the only thing I had. Thanks.
Thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Kushni, for trying. Um, Surbi, are you ready?
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So it looks like a lab of some kind of pharmacy, uh, because these all people are wearing similar t-shirts, and there's some what they are wearing right now, and so, okay, and there are so many chemicals in bottles, and it clearly is related to pharmacy, and there are some computer systems are there, and some instruments are also there, and I don't know the name of them exactly. And there's a tissue paper, and some notes are there. Okay. There's a sink and a calculator. Yeah, I think that's it. Nothing much. right now. Yeah, that's it, Suresh.
Thank you, Surbi. Uh, Cindy, please share us your feedback.
No, it was good. I noticed everyone's calling this piece here tissue. It looks like a roll. It kind of looks like a roll of toilet tissue or toilet paper, but I think it's probably paper towels, which would be longer and thicker and absorb more. So I'm thinking it's paper towels, but um, tissue is still a word that would work. Bounty, yeah, that's a good brand. um, yeah, and that would be paper towels, is what we would call them. Everything else I think was fine. You mentioned the tag that they're wearing. Could be a name tag, an ID tag, uh, student ID, whichever. So that was another good one. And of course, tag is fine to use there. So um, did you want to comment on Ahmed's question? I don't want to say too much, but he's asking why do you think it's a pharmaceutical lab?
Uh, okay, so there's a girl on the left hand side, and she's wearing that similar shirt, a t-shirt, and there is on the on her left arm, I think there's written pharmacy.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to.
I didn't. It's
No,
not.
that was good. I'm not going to say anything more on it, but yeah, it was a good guess. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Suresh?
Thank you. Um, Thank you, Shilpi. Thank you, Cindy. Who was that who wanted to go next after Surbi? Um, Ahmed, please go ahead.
Okay, hello everybody. Hello Miss Cindy. Hello, sorry.
Hi.
It was a long time since I was here. Okay,
Thanks
hi.
for joining today.
Okay,
Good to see you back
okay, thanks a
after a
lot.
long
Thanks
time.
for you for this awesome website. Thank you very much.
No problem. It's a learning experience for
Okay, I
everyone.
think there's 5 seconds. Okay, there's 5 seconds between you and me.
Okay.
5 seconds. When I
There,
call you, you repeat. Okay.
you mean there is a huge
For
delay?
this
Okay, I
photo,
understand.
there are okay. For this photo, I think this is such biological lab, and there are many monitors here at this photo. All the people at this picture are girls except two guys. All of them wear the same T-shirt, which has mixed brand components, I think. And I think that they are in the camp, this camp called PX camp. There are many napkins, bottles here at this photo. 7 computers, 6 monitors here at this photo. And this is all for me now. This is what I think this is all about this picture for me.
Okay. Thanks, Ahmed, for
Okay,
your sharing your inputs. Cindy?
That was good, and I like that he was using full sentences in addition to trying to find the vocabulary words to interject into the discussion. Um, that also helps me help you because it gives me more to work on. uh, you did real good on this. There was one, you said all of them. We would say all of them. Just put the word of in there. Otherwise, everything was good. Um, I think the PX, you did? Okay. I was also going to mention your sentences were just a little fast, so I might have missed it. So I apologize if I didn't hear the word. Oh, you mentioned PX. is that the word that's, or the, what's written on their t-shirt? Is that what you were looking at? Because I'm trying to figure out. I'm just curious. Go ahead.
Okay, just the PX on the back of that girl on the back of the photo. There's a girl wearing T-shirt called Camp PX Camp on the back of that girl.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to go
Okay,
ahead and
did you see
comment.
it?
Yes, I see it now. I had to go to the other picture. I'm going to mention on this, since he's brought it out, and this is how we can know that it's a pharmaceutical situation. We have, if you look at her, the girl in the background that's got her back to you, the one that you were talking about, it has an R
Okay.
and an X down there. It's actually an R and an X, and that is, whenever you see that sign, it means a pharmacy. So you might see it up on a wall somewhere, and that denotes where the pharmacy is located in that store. Or like here, I think it's actually Camp RX, and I'm not sure how they're saying it, but so I'm guessing this is something to do with the pharmacy because of that. But that was a good observation, and I was waiting for someone to notice that. So go right ahead.
RX, not PX. It's RX. Okay, now I
Yeah,
get it
you see the
now.
way the R goes
I thought
down?
it's PX. I thought
Yeah,
it's
because of
PX.
the X.
Okay, and all of them wear the same T-shirt. Mix what? Sorry, one more time. To mix grain components, I think.
Let me see.
Mix grain components.
Grind. Oh, mix, grind,
Grind
compound,
components.
compound. I think.
Compound. Okay.
Or
Compound.
I'm
Okay.
not really. Yeah, that's something we'll discuss towards the end. When else brings it up, because I think it is a pharmaceutical thing, and so they are working in the lab in the background. So my guess is it's not just pharmacy technicians, but actual pharmaceutical training for the pharmacist himself, which they have a
Yeah, all
lot
of them
of
are
training.
researchers, I think.
Yeah, yeah. My daughter was
Researchers.
a pharmacy tech, and they don't get into it quite this deeply. That's why I'm thinking there it's training for pharmacists. So yeah, good observations. Go ahead, Suresh.
Thank you, Ahmed and Cindy. Um, okay, I cannot see who wanted to go next. Pia said, "Can I start?" Maha says, "He'll go next." Um, uh, okay, Pia, on the chat box, I see that you said you're next, so I'll let you go next, and then Maha. Uh,
Hi Suresh, hi Cindy. Uh,
Hi.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to describe this picture. So it's I think it's a pharmacy lab, and six pharma student or maybe volunteer student, whatever, like they are wearing their t-shirts, and they are with and the ID, the student ID, and three of student, they are trying to figure out to make something with experiment with chemical, and I can see the paper towel and some spray bottle and some kind of chemical bottle, and I can see that two of keyboard and uh, two, maybe two or three, yeah, two computer screen, and those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 student. I can see the eight student over there, and uh, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pia. If we can have a number. Yeah, yeah. Please, if whoever wants to go next, maybe from next time we can have a number, and then you can add to that number, and I will know who wants to go next. Cindy, please share us your feedback. Or yeah,
Thanks, Pia. That was good. Um, I noticed, and this is not in common, and it's not a big deal as far as being understood. I'm just going to mention when we talk about experimenting with chemical, it's actually chemicals because we're talking, the chemical is the noun that we're talking about. So experimenting with chemicals. If you want to say we're experimenting with one chemical, we would say it experimenting with a chemical, if you want to keep it singular. But you also did a very nice job afterwards when you said chemical bottles. So in that case, even though the bottles are plural, we would use the chemical as a describing word for the bottles, and it does not get the S. So you did a good job there. And thanks for giving me a chance to clarify. And I think everybody knows, but just in case, ID tag, that's just identification tag, it's just what we use short. I think everybody knows that one, though. But otherwise, everything was good. Thanks.
Thank you, Pia and Sindee. Maha, you're up next.
Okay, hi everyone. In the picture, I think people are in a pharmacy laboratory. There are computers, tissue rolls, and spraying bottles, also chemical products, and measurement cups like measures and all. There are two men and the other are women. They are all wearing the same t-shirt and all of them are wearing badges, which makes me believe that they are members of the same sort of pharmaceutical association. They might be doing some pharmaceutical products or tests or mixing grits, I don't know. At least that's what's written on their t-shirt. And that's all.
Thank you, Maha. Sindee,
Maha, can you come back on for a second? Do you remember what you said? I missed a word. We're talking about possibly for products or mixing something. What was the other word?
Mixing. I said, I can't remember. I can't really remember.
That's okay. That's okay. It's hard to remember sometimes. Not a problem. I just thought I'd ask in case you did. But actually, everything was really good. I like that you brought in. Go ahead. Did you remember?
That's what's written on their t-shirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then you also brought in the word badges.
Yeah.
And that's another one that we would use for those tags there, ID badges, name tag, ID badges. So that was another good vocabulary word. Thanks for bringing that in. Other than not catching that last thing that you said, I don't think I really caught anything to really mention. So thanks.
and Maha, did you say two men or two men's?
What? Two
Did
men.
you? Two men. Okay. Okay. I thought I heard two men's. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Rishel, Moinul, Mohammed, do you guys want to give this a try, or eh, you just want to listen? Mohammed, Moinul, Rishel. Okay. Okay, Rishel, I understand.
Yeah, hello.
Moinul, do you want to give this a try?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I just have a look right now. I mean, I think this is a pharmacy, and the name is Camp RX. As you know, that however the doctors write their prescriptions, so that time first of all, when the prior medicine is reading as an RX. So from that thing, I think this is a pharmacy or pharmaceutical company where the students are making some of the experiments or on an specific experiment, and then actually, and in the first women who were sitting, who were standing at the first. Is in her right arm, it was written as a word is written. The pharmacy is written there. So from there we can make sure that this is a pharmacy. And there I can see three spray bottles. I think that's our hexazoles, which are used for I mean hygienic, making the things hygienic. And then I can see 2 keyboards. I can see 3 computers. Total 11 students or 11 employee, whatever. 2 of them are boys and 9 are girls. And then they're wearing the same ID card. And that's it.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much. Yeah.
Sindee?
Sorry about the delay. I was having trouble picking up the icon to take my mic off mute. Moino, real quick, what was that last word? Wearing the same something.
ID card.
Write it in the chat box for me, will ya?
ID card.
Article? ID card. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought he was saying one word. Okay. All right. And let's see. Everything was good. However, and I know that you know how to say that word, but you said it a little fast, so it came out without the V. So it'll be a little more understandable if you just slow down on that longer word. But I know you know how, so because I've talked to you before. So you talked about the spray bottle, specific experiments. Actually, everything was really good. The prescriptions, I didn't really have any real issues, so it was good. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you
job.
very much, Cindy. Thank you.
Good try. Ahmed? Sorry, Mohammed. You are on mute. You have to unmute and then speak if you want to speak.
Yeah, sorry, I'm with you now.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, I want to say something. I'm not good in English, but I'm trying. Just I'm trying.
Great. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Give it a try. Don't worry. We are all here to
Okay.
learn. Yeah.
Okay. We can see in the photo there are a lot of people. They are wearing same t-shirt and ID card, and there are a lot of bottles, and there are two screen computers, and there are some paper in the desk, and there a pen, and I think they create uh, some medicine. That's it.
Thank you, Mohammed. Good. Sindee?
Mohammed, you do fine, so please don't be shy about talking. So you're doing
Okay.
just fine, and you had nice complete sentences, and I could understand it quite easily. It wasn't too fast. Give me 1 second, Maha, and I will answer that question. Thanks for the question, by the way. I will mention we have some is a plural word. Now I'm going to confuse things here, but when you talk about some paper, we would normally just say some papers. There are some papers on the desk. If you say paper and it refers to many sheets of paper, then it's usually referring to like a thesis or some kind of research paper. Then you can use it in a collective term, but otherwise that's going to be plural. That being said, you mentioned some medicine, that we wouldn't, we could say some medicines, or we might say some medicine. So I can't really tell you why. Maybe we're just being too comfortable with the language, I guess. So you will hear that one both ways. But otherwise, it was very good. And like I said, it's just the plural and singular congruency. And that is not enough to keep you from being understood. It was still easily understood, so it's no problem. Now, on Maha, she's asked, is it correct tissue rolls? Yes, you can say tissue rolls. We wouldn't. We usually would say paper towels or roll of paper towel rolls. To us, a tissue is like a Kleenex, something you blow your nose on. But I have noticed when I was like in Bangladesh, they use the tissues a lot of times like a napkin, like a paper napkin. So yeah, but over here, when we say tissue, usually we're talking about something like a Kleenex that we would blow our nose on. So I know that's kind of hard to do without showing a picture. I will try to find some pictures and we'll post that later on. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing that now.
Oh, got it. Okay, great. So these right here, down here where it says tissue rolls, we call that toilet tissue or toilet paper, depending on who you are. Some people just refer to it as TP, stands for toilet paper, and that would be these things right here. Can you pull up, just put in the word Kleenex and it's spelled this way. Actually, it's a brand name. It is not, yeah, that's not it. Put it in with a K, K-L-E-E-N-E-X. There you go. Those are what we would call facial tissues, but Kleenex has been around and been so popular for such a long time that even though it's a brand name, we often will use it instead of saying tissue or facial tissue or whatever. We just call them a Kleenex, even if they're not a Kleenex brand, because Kleenex is just that popular.
Like we say Xerox instead of photocopy.
Exactly, just exactly that way. And Kleenex has been like that my entire life. And in fact, I remember now that I'm talking about it, being in elementary school, talking about this very thing, about how Kleenex is such a name, such a common name, that we use it instead of what the product actually is. That's how long they've been around.
I'm sorry to interrupt. As I'm living in Bangladesh, in my country context, I'm not used to with the Kleenex word. In my country, the tissue, I mean, there's some words, something like that, Bosundara, Faye, that kind of names are common here. So, in that regard, what should I say?
For you, I know that tissue, I think, and I when I was over there in Bangladesh, I actually heard them calling it a napkin sometimes, if I remember correctly.
We don't know the difference between napkin and tissue. I'm just learning it right now.
Okay, so for us, a napkin is a little bit different. Can you put that in? N-A-P-K-I-N. Okay, now these are cloth napkins. They go on the table with your silverware, as you can see here with the plate. There's different ways to do it. They have some really artistic ways of folding a napkin so that you have a nice table setting. But there's also pictures of a napkin, paper napkins, and you would find those like at restaurants. You can buy them for your home, but they're a little bit thicker than the tissues, not quite as soft, so they hold up a little bit better to wiping your hands or cleaning the kids up. And not as rough on your nose because they are rough on your nose, so you would want to use the tissue like the Kleenex tissues. So yeah, I want to mention, when I say this, when I make these kinds of comments about how we say things, what I'm trying to do is I'm giving you how we here in the area I grew up in and am accustomed to say it, because people have asked me for that information because they want to sound more like a native. So that's why I give this kind of information. I'm not trying to say that your way is wrong or anything like that. I don't mean that at all. I'm just trying to give you a different perspective because I get asked to do that. So anyway, that's those are the different kinds of tissues. And yes, paper towel is the one on the roll, the tall roll like these is how we would use it. Now there is one that's blue, and those are, we call them shop towels, and you'll see those in mechanic shops and stuff, and they're pretty sturdy. They're a lot thicker than a regular paper towel. And the brown ones that are folded up there on the second row, third row, those are paper towels as well. They come in a different dispenser. They're for drying your hands, and we still call them a paper towel. So any of the bigger ones for drying your hands, we call a paper towel. Okay, so Hui, yeah, and if you guys have questions like that, I don't mind asking them. Like I said, I'm not trying to say anyone's wrong. I'm just trying to tell you how we say it. And Bounty, yeah, is a popular brand.
And someone said there are lots of people. So when do you use lots of people? When do you say people? When do you say some people?
You can, yeah. Some people just means that there's like 3 or more. Otherwise, it's a couple people, which
Few
should be
people?
2. You people is just referring to people
Few.
other than yourself in plural.
Few.
People is going to be plural. What's that?
Few people.
Few people. Yeah, only a few people are going. Again, few is usually right around 3 to 5 of anything. When you have several, you're talking, yeah, and this is all generalized. Everybody's a little different, but you're talking about 5 to 7, maybe 8, you know, if you're talking several. Other than that, it starts getting to be many or more. It's really a lot of context as to how we use those terms.
Is it okay to say there are lots of people in the picture?
Yes, you could. You could, because a lot of it too has to do if you have a very small room and there's this many people in there, we would say there's a lot of people there, whereas if you had a really big room and there's only 7 people in a room that can hold, say, 200 people, we might say, oh, there's only a few people in there. You know, so far only a few people have shown up. So it's going to be kind of relative as well as to what the place can hold or who you're expecting. If you're expecting, you know, a huge group, 7 might only be a few. So a lot of those words are very relative, and it's just a matter of how we do it. And you can usually tell from the context, so I hope that helps.
Okay. Has everybody tried? Pia, Hui?
Hui is the only one because he just joined.
Okay.
So, Hui, did you want to try this?
Okay, I think he's away.
Okay.
So, I don't know if I can say anything different from everyone. I think everybody has got it. I don't know if anyone mentioned there's a calculator there. I think somebody would have mentioned definitely. And there is a lot going on in this picture. There is sink. I don't know if people say that. Oh, there are 2 calculators actually. And yeah, there's a lot going on. Sindee, go ahead and give us your thoughts on this picture.
Now, I wasn't trying to cut you off. I just didn't want you to close the session until I added a few things. Sorry about that. Moino, when we're done with this photo, we're going to have to go. At least I do. But you're more than welcome to stay in the session and continue talking. That is never a problem. Okay. And I apologize. This week is just kind of hectic for me. Because I noticed some things in the photograph, and I'm not sure if I can even tell you from that small picture. Yeah, like what he has in his hand. as well as some other items that are around. I thought I'd add just a few vocabulary words that pertain to pharmacies. We talk about injections. Now, the pharmacist does not do injections, but because he has a syringe right there, and we'll put these words up on the blog after this. So syringe would be what he has in his hand. We have hypodermic needles that get attached to the syringe, and they're used for injections or inoculations or immunizations, for diabetics, for children, whatever. Of course, prescriptions and medications, everybody's talked about that. One thing I have noticed is the word tablet gets used by some for medications. For us, we say medications. We don't say tablet unless we know it's a tablet, and we still usually will say a pill or medication. And a tablet is the compressed powder, usually has some kind of a coating. We have capsules. Those are little, I don't want to say plastic. I don't really know what they're made out of, but they're oval, and they have little balls in them usually. Yeah, it's a different kind of tablet. They have now gels or gel caps. That's a capsule right there, the one you just had up. If you can go back, that's a capsule. The white one down here that's round would be the tablet. And usually if it's scored, it means you can split it. Some medication you do not ever split because it's made to be time released, and if you split it, you let it all out into your system at once. Okay, Maha, we'll see what we can do to help you on that. Thanks for the question. Let's see. Spray bottles, somebody mentioned that. There's labels on there. Somebody, I think, mentioned canisters. Suresh, you got the calculator. I could get into some more technical terms, but I think that's probably overkill at this point. So those are the only ones that that I can think of offhand that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
And so, do you want to
I
address
have
that?
few doubts. So, um, I see some like silver things there, and then what do you call them? Is it a rack on the wall?
Are you on the wall?
Yeah.
Oh, they're attached. Yeah, they're the strip that holds. If we're talking about the same thing, they're the strip that holds the shelving units up. Or no. There are shelves
Shelves?
that can go on there. There are shelves that can go on strips like that, if that's what I'm seeing. But they have a different shelf on there that's attached to the wall. They have an actual unit. But I'm not judging by where they're at. I'm wondering if maybe they used to have a different type of shelving. Unless
Okay.
we can maybe, let me see if I can enlarge this. I don't know that I can. But that would be my guess as to what those are.
And those silver things, can we call them like utensils, or what are they called?
Hold on.
What are utensils?
Okay, I'm going to ask you, which silver things are we talking about?
On the shelf?
Utensils are
On
on the
this,
shelf,
yeah,
on the shelves in the background.
yeah.
Okay, I've just enlarged it. So I see some. Yeah, they would be a utensil. They're a bowl. It looks like it's stainless steel bowls or something, some kind of container, probably specific to their industry. And at the very top, I'll mention too, on the left, the next shelf over to the left, not all the way to the towels, but all those glass things that are kind of
Beaker?
cone-shaped, those are beakers. B-E-A-K-E-R, beaker. And another word you might use for these is vial. You'll have vials of medicine. And beaker. There you go. Okay, and I'm going to tell you, the reason this puppet is there, there is a very popular show that is a spin-off of a child's show that's been around longer than I've been alive. It's called Sesame Street. It's a learning show for children, and they have these things called Muppets. They are puppets, but they're made a specific way. Anyway, this particular character is the sidekick for another puppet who's a professor, and he never really speaks. He just kind of makes this funny noise, and his name is Beaker, just because he's the lab scientist's friend that helps him in the lab. So he's the assistant for this other puppet, and his name is Beaker, and that's why he's showing up when you put that in.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Kermit the Frog or Miss Piggy. Well, that's the same show, the same people. Jim Henson has gotten very rich off of those puppets. Yes, okay. Sink, that's good. And another thing I'll add, since she's mentioned the sink and you mentioned those bowls back there, that they're stainless steel. That would be the English words for those.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Another thing that you'd mentioned, you said something, no? Okay.
Okay. I noticed no one mentioned the stands for the computer screens. Those monitor stands,
Yeah, I didn't know what
the
to call
towers.
towers.
I'm not sure either. You could call them a monitor tower, just like, the Twin Towers. I don't know if I should bring that up, but yeah, it's the same thing. And yeah, so yeah, it's just a stand. And I'm looking. The thing that hangs around their neck that has the tags, those are also called a lanyard sometimes, just like in the fall protection. Sometimes they get called lanyards, as you can see in here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we've missed. Oh, the red box in the very back, kind of in the middle of the picture, that's a biohazard box. It's actually a Sharps box, but it's for biohazards. They call it a Sharps container. There you go. Because after you've injected somebody, then that needle becomes a biohazard. And so it's to put in there, and it's also for safety reasons so that you don't ever handle all those sharps and get pricked with something that's hazardous.
Sharps container.
Mm-hmm.
Never knew that.
Yeah, Sharps container is going to be the common word, and you will find them in all the doctor's offices now. When I was a kid, they weren't around, but OSHA is big here. OSHA is Occupational Safety and Health Administration. It's the federal government, and they monitor all businesses except one. The only one that they don't is the mining industry, because MSHA, which is the sister organization, handles the mines, and MSHA actually has a lot more power to get involved with you than OSHA does, but OSHA's enough. Anyway, and it's basically has to do with all the safety involved in businesses. So it doesn't matter what business you have. Unless you are a sole proprietor, OSHA will get involved. So if they had to, if there was a report or something like that. Most of the time they leave you alone as long as you are okay. But they have a BBP standard that requires those boxes and a lot of training. So, okay, I think that's I think we've got the bulk of it. Does anyone else see anything else they have a question about before we go? And the vials, you can see examples of the vials sitting in front of the man with the beard. They're right there sitting on the counter. They'll have medicines in there that they extract the medicine out with the syringe. Subject to write about. Absolutely. You know what we encourage everyone, Maha, is if you can write it and put it on the trending page, because then when we go to comment on it, everyone can benefit. Also, that's usually where I go to first if I'm looking for something. And you can pick anything, pick a picture and post it, and then and talk about it. You can tell about an experience. It doesn't have to have a picture with it. You can talk about the picture that we discussed today. Tell us what you thought of the session or summarize what we discussed. Really anything you want. And then we'll get on there, and it may not happen immediately. It depends on, because I try to take them in order, so sometimes I'm behind, and right now I am a little behind, but we'll get on and work on that. If you want to give permission for it to be used in a session, we can always do that as well. And if you go to my profile page, it has a link that will take you to another link that explains all that. And then we can discuss your works in a session.
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, we've had a lot of good discussions, and we actually have some posted on the blog, because when we're done, if they don't mind, we post it there. And so some people get a shout out for things they want to say to the world, and so we write it and post it there. It's a lot of fun, but we learn a lot.
Yeah, if you go to the posts page, once you log in, this is the page you'll see. So I'm following few people. So Sue has written something like 21 hours ago, and so Sindee just made a blog post. I wanted to show that. So yesterday we had a question about what's the difference between rock and mountain, hill. So she has written a really nice article about it. So go ahead and read about it. It's in the blog. Yeah, and give your comments there. Cindy will reply back. And if you have any doubts, you can go to the post page and type there. So what you can do is, I remember Rajendra, it was Rajendrajeet who wrote something. So this is Rajendrajeet's post, and this was one of the picture we discussed. So he just added that picture and wrote about it. So you can do the same. You can go to the post page and you can simply write a description here, or if you want to ask something about the picture, you can. So this post is I made using upload a photo, and if you want to like write something like Rajendraji did, so you can write like just either the picture description, and so let me show you how we did it. So then the next, you can upload an image here. So, you'll see the progress here. So here you go. You have the picture, and then you can say, you can type stuff, and just click on share my story, and Cindy and I will give you some feedback there. So we also we want to help your speaking through the practice, but also we want to like make Speak Ali a good tool for you to improve your writing as well. So use this post page to post something and yeah, improve your English. Cindy, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I wanted to mention we also have some English teachers that will sometimes get on and comment as well from different parts of the world, and we're working on getting more volunteers and teachers and things. So the more we grow, the more we'll have that can give you feedback. But for now, we'll catch up and comment just as soon as we can get caught up on everybody's posts. So, you know, it's always nice to listen to what everybody else says. Sometimes I do a lot of talking, and it's always nice to hear from you guys as well.
Yeah, and this is our new chat. I'm still working on it to make it look better. So the old uh, ugly one, it's good looking, but the old one was not fetching your profile image and not giving you the link. So now you will know who's speaking, and so there will be more enhancements and more features on the site soon. So keep checking. Uh, so it's going to get better and better. Share the website with your friends. Um, yeah, Cindy.
Yeah, I just wanted to address Maha's question as well, as far as the spelling. And what I would suggest is every time you learn a new word, take a little time to write it a few times, because that will help put it in your brain, and you'll learn it better. They have done studies, and they found that actually writing, handwriting, not just typing it into a computer, but handwriting something out helps you the best to remember. And so if you take the time to write it and kind of sound it out loud to yourself as you're writing it, is going to help you both with your pronunciation, your enunciation when you're speaking, as well as your spelling. And so you're going to get help on all three things if you just take a few minutes to write those things down. And as we have time, you know, we do put these up with a little write-up on the blog. They do take me quite a bit of time. I know it doesn't seem like it, but to use the vocabulary words in one post takes me a little bit to really make sure that I'm using as many vocabulary words that we've learned in the session on the post, and have good sentences to be able to make it sound like a coherent paragraph. So I apologize for it taking so long, but it's a little trickier than it would seem. But it's a lot of fun, and I do enjoy reviewing the sessions that way. But when I have time, I try to do that, and that will give you a chance to get the spelling for those vocabulary words, how we would use it in a sentence, how a native would speak. That's why I put those posts up there after we have a session. So even though you've been in the session, it kind of helps you to review what we've learned and how to say things and that sort of things. And I do make sure and double check everything that I use on there to make sure I'm using it in a definition that you can find easily on the internet. So if I use something as a slang word that that maybe is just how we say it, or a slang phrase or something, I try to explain that on there. For instance, the one with the rocks in the mountains. In Arizona, we have a joke, and we say we grow rocks. And I mentioned that in the post. And that's just because of the area. It's very different than, say, here in New York. Even the chemical composition, it's very alkaline out there. It's very acidic over here. You know, the pH is very different. So everything is very different. And actually, I'm going to say I had a lot of fun with this post, because for me it was like a little bit of a memory trip, because except for the beach rocks, those are all from my property where I used to live in Arizona. So it's kind of like inviting everyone to my home by doing this. So it was kind of fun. Same with the post on the trending page with the pond there. Anyway, that's a view of where I lived. It's actually showing a little piece of my property, but you can't see my house. I didn't put my house in any of the pictures, but I had 40 acres out there, and so I kind of miss it. I do. You'll hear me talk about it a lot, because I do kind of miss living in the country. It was nice. It's my yard, where my goats used to be. So as you can see, there was times that we had growth, and but being Arizona is very deserty, we also grew a lot of rocks. So. Okay, Ahmed, I'll go ahead and check there. No problem. anyway, so I'll get off now, and we'll get going, and I'll look for everyone's post.
Yeah, and take your time to read this because Cindy just spent a lot of time yesterday to make this. So she writes um, a lot of posts to help you guys. I don't know how many people are reading it, so make sure you read them. Um, yeah, she gives some tips as well, so make sure you read the blog. Okay, thanks for joining us today, guys. Make sure you follow Cindy, and you can stay online and keep talking, but we have to go. Yeah, don't be shy to write uh, on the post page, and see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.